Then, and Silverstone produced a glorious day for the race, and Murray Walker was there.
A lovely day at Silverstone for the Acorn Computer Trophy Formula 3 Round 6 of this year's European Championship. And there's lots to see, with an excellent crowd to watch the best British Formula 3 drivers racing against the best from the continent. Formula 3 is a mini Formula 1, and it costs big money. With all the trappings of Grand Prix racing, the transporters, team management, mechanics, tyres, engines and the rest, you need at the very least £100,000 a car for a season's racing. The very sophisticated cars have aerodynamic side pods to generate downforce, 2-litre engines producing 160 horsepower, and downsized Grand Prix type rear-mounted gearboxes which support big aerofoils to add to the download on the tyres. In European Formula 3 racing, competitors are able to use any make of tyre. As a result of which, not all the competitors here today feel that they've got the right one or feel that they've got the best compromise in terms of tyre construction or compound.
The Dunlops won't last the distance. They're good tyres, but unfortunately, due to either compound or sizing, their outside front tyre won't take the length of the race. They'll last for about 7 laps and then they start dialing in understeer, and we just won't complete the second half of the race fast enough.
So what are you going to use in the race?
The Michelins, which we've got, which are second-hand Michelins, and they should be consistent for the whole race. Maybe not fast enough for the first half, but we hope that where everybody else starts slowing down, we'll be still going strong.
Very much the favourite is Johnny Dumfries in his Team BP Ralt VW, who's leading the British Championship and second in the European behind Italian Ivan Capelli.
It's important for me to make a good start and try and maintain a lead over Capelli for the first 6 laps. He's on Michelin tyres and they all start on new tyres, so he'll be strong for the first 6 laps. It's important for me to stay ahead of him and then try and maintain a cushion over him so that I can ease up on my tyres, because the front left tyre suffers very badly at Silverstone.
Ivan Capelli, heading the European Championship by 1 point, drives a Martini Alfa. He's just won the prestigious Monaco F3 race, but it's his first time at Silverstone.
Dumfries knew very well the circuit and is a very good driver. 20 laps here are too much, and for the tyres is the trouble. And so I hope to finish the race in a good position. If it's the first, it's better.
And there's the very talented Kathy Muller, ex-karting world champion.
It's unusual to see a girl in Formula 3. Do the men treat you politely or do they treat you like a man?
Oh no, they are very nice. They let me pass always. No. It's very difficult, of course, because a man doesn't like to be beat by a woman. He prefers to be 27, 28 or 5th, but he has to be in front of me. And he will do everything to be in front of, and sometimes that's finished in a crash, and I don't finish the race because I'm out.
Pole position, Johnny Dumfries, well inside his own lap record. Capelli, second on the grid. Italian Claudio Langes, third. Yorkshire's Russell Spence, fourth. And racing for Britain's Andrew Gilbert-Scott, fifth. 20 starters, 20 laps, that's 59 miles to go. They get away well, and Johnny Dumfries moves right across to the left for Copse corner. Capelli won't like that. Into Copse they go, and it's Dumfries leading. Capelli in second place, Langes in third. In fourth position is Russell Spence. Over the crest, Davy Jones is in fifth place, and Gerhard Berger is sixth. Beckett's 100 miles an hour round the right-hander there. Now down towards Chapel. Fifth gear. Down the Hanger Straight, 135 miles an hour. Down to Stowe Corner, and it's Johnny Dumfries leading. Now this gives him a big psychological advantage on Capelli, because Dumfries is in the lead and he knows Silverstone. Capelli doesn't. Round Club Corner, up to Abbey. That's 135 miles an hour. It's Dumfries leading. Capelli second. Langes third. In fourth position is Russell Spence. Fifth is Berger. And now down to Woodcote at the end of the first lap. Flick right, left, right again. Dumfries leads. He's a second ahead of Capelli. Langes is still third. Berger is in 4th place. Those four are pulling away a bit. And Capelli is in the Martini, which allegedly is not as good on the fast circuits as it is on the slow ones, but he's handling it beautifully. And now Langes is out. Claudio Langes has disappeared from 3rd position. So up into 3rd place has gone the Englishman, Russell Spence. There he is. Behind him in the yellow car, it's the Austrian Gerhard Berger. 5th is David Hunt and 6th is Davy Jones, the 2 Acorn team drivers, as Dumfries comes through at the end of lap 2. Then it's Capelli, Spence, Berger, down to Cox. And Johnny Dumfries is totally in charge at the moment. He knows Silverstone perfectly. He's won 7 out of his 12 Formula 3 drives already this year, and that's a man who's test-driven the Grand Prix Williams, a possible Formula 1 Grand Prix driver of the future. Capelli 2nd, Spence 3rd. Round Club Corner, up towards Abbey. Capelli, Spence, Berger. Next is Hunt, and Davy Jones is off. Davy Jones is off. He's gone off the course, but he's rejoined. Seems to be okay, but he has lost his place. Dumfries in front, he's got a clear track ahead of him. He's pacing himself beautifully. He's 1.8 seconds ahead of Capelli. Capelli leads Spence by 1.5 seconds, and Spence is 2 seconds ahead of Berger. 5.3 seconds covers the first 4, and they are lapping at over 125 miles an hour. Lap 4. Into the pits comes Andrew Gilbert-Scott. Now, he was dicing with Davy Jones. It looks as though he's done another nose cone in. That's what he's getting famous for, and indeed he has. The Murray-Taylor team have got a nose cone there ready to go on the car, and Dumfries is on his way. Now, there's Capelli, there's Spence, and it looks to me as though Russell Spence is starting to pull Capelli in. He's going to challenge for 2nd place before very much longer, and the first 3 are very close together. Club up to the very, very fast Abbey. This is 135 miles an hour around here. Berger's keeping Spence in sight. Down to Woodcote at the end of lap 4 into lap 5. And look at Spence. Now the story is definitely Capelli versus Spence, 2nd and 3rd. Russell Spence, number 3, the Glen Waters warmer style Ralt VW, the man from Bradford. And this is his last weekend as a bachelor because he's getting married in 5 days' time. That's the 1983 Euro champion in Formula 4 2000. And he's now absolutely with Capelli. There is Berger in 4th place. Dumfries, he can see them in his mirrors. He's driving a beautiful race. And now Capelli and Spence, 2nd and 3rd, are even closer as Dumfries comes down into Woodcote. Look at that, Capelli 2nd, Spence 3rd, Berger 4th in the background. In 5th position it's David Hunt, 6th is Bernard Santal, 7th is Mel Grati, and 8th is Kathy Muller. Johnny Dumfries, 4 years racing experience, ex-van driver for the Williams Grand Prix team, karts and Formula Ford, and he's following in the footsteps of Martin Brundle and Ayrton Senna. And behind Dumfries, Spence is now in the turbulence of Capelli's Martini Alpha. He could take him very shortly. Under the bridge, and he flicks out. He flicks out from the rear wing of Capelli's car, and it's a beautiful manoeuvre. And he goes through the chicane without even touching the curbs. A lovely bit of driving from Bradford's Russell Spence. Now, can Spence, in 2nd place now, catch Johnny Dumfries? There's the leader. The gap is 2.8 seconds. Spence, Capelli, Berger. There's still only about 2 or 3 seconds between the 2nd and 4th. Round Stowe goes Dumfries. Round Stowe goes Spence. The gap there is 2.9 seconds. So Johnny Dumfries here is maintaining his advantage. Berger is still in 4th place. Capelli now down to 3rd, and Berger is starting to close on the Italian. The Austrian there in the yellow car is closing on Capelli, and that's David Hunt in 5th position, and off goes Santal. Santal, Bernard Santal, that's Capelli's teammate, and that looks like a really nasty one. Wheel off, is that going to go in the path of the competitors? No, fortunately it's rolling away.
And as they go through, Melgrati goes up to 6th position. And I think Santar's all right. You can see his head moving. But my goodness, that car really flew to pieces. Lap 18. And Johnny Dumfries has still got that gap between himself and Russell Spence, but it is not nearly as big a gap. It's down to 1.9 seconds now. Russell Spence second. Capelli and Berger are having a scrap for 3rd position. So the Scotsman leads in the Ralt VW. Spence second in his Ralt VW. There he is, number 3. Then Capelli, then Berger. Johnny Dumfries and Spence, and Russell Spence has just done a new lap record, 1 minute 23.8, 126 miles an hour. He is the fastest man on the circuit. He's going to start a terrific charge now to try and reel in Johnny Dumfries. And this is interesting because Dumfries has got one of the tail enders, Luis Sala, the Spaniard who damaged his hand in the warm-up this morning, in front of him, and he'll have to lap him, and this is where the race could change. There's Capelli, still in 3rd position ahead of Berger. Dumfries at Stowe, Spence at Stowe. Russell Spence grimly keeping Johnny Dumfries in sight as they go round the right-hander at Club. Now, is Dumfries going to be able to get past Sala? If he is, he's going to have an advantage because I doubt that Spence will be able to do so before they get to Woodcote. And Johnny Dumfries has passed the Spaniard. There are the 3rd and 4th men, Capelli and Berger. And now Spence has got to get up to Sala and past him, and Sala's in his way right in the chicane. It could hardly have been worse from Russell Spence's point of view. But now he is past. Spence nips past Sala into Copse. And it's still Capelli 3rd. It's still Berger 4th. And Berger in the yellow car is having turbulence trouble, I'm sure. The closer he gets to Capelli's car, the greater the turbulence is going to be, and it's going to be a big problem for him. But now, this is the last lap. And Johnny Dumfries is almost within sight of Woodcote, the last bend into the chicane. And out of it, and Johnny Dumfries crosses the line to win by 1 second. Spence second, Capelli 3rd, Berger 4th, Hunt 5th, and Melgrati in 6th position. And that means that Johnny Dumfries now leads Ivan Capelli in the European Championship. But as a joyful Johnny Dumfries sprays the champagne to celebrate his 2nd European Championship win of the year, there's bad news for David Hunt. Disqualification from his 5th place because of a leaking engine airbox.
What I think was a superb Formula